If you knew that writing your own name was the key to a hidden treasury, would you dare to lift the pen? Few understand that the name is the seed of all possession, for it carries the image of the I Am that owns all. And when the seed is sown in faith, it must bring forth after its kind wealth, abundance, and the overflowing measure pressed into your life. If you will but accept that the name is the seal of ownership, you will never again wander the earth as though you are without inheritance. For the name is not letters upon a page, nor sound upon the air. It is the silent proclamation of being itself. I Am is the root, and your given name is its flowering. When you write your name, you are not tracing ink. You are impressing the invisible with the pattern of the one who already possesses all that the name implies. The shepherd marks his flock, the king seals his decree, and the creator calls the stars by name. So you, in the secret chamber of imagination, call your wealth by calling yourself. All that appears in the outer world bows to the inner claim. You are not here to plead with life, you are here to claim. To write your name with the awareness that it is the stamp of possession is to set in motion the unseen forces that answer to your identity. The gold is not in the earth, it is in consciousness. The silver is not in the hills, it is in the state assumed. Every coin, every note, every jewel is only the shadow of a substance that lives within you, waiting to be claimed by name. Consider the child of a great estate. He does not toil to earn the fields or the house. He bears the name of the owner, and by that name he inherits. You, too, bear the name, I Am, the title deed of creation. When you take the pen and write your name, you are writing upon the parchment of the mind the decree that wealth is yours. And just as the decree of the king cannot return void, so your written word must accomplish that for which it is sent. So shall my word be, says the scripture, which shall not return unto me void, but it shall accomplish that which I please. Your word is your assumption made visible. Your name is the mold into which substance flows. See yourself now, not as the one who seeks, but as the one who has found. In the stillness, write your name as though signing for the inheritance already in your possession. Let the feeling rise, not hope, not longing, but the quiet knowledge that this is already settled in the heavens. Each stroke of the pen is a stroke upon the deep waters of the subconscious, and there the image takes root. Do not write as a beggar asking to be noticed. Write as the master signing for what is his by right of being. For the world without is but a letter delivered from the world within. To change the letter, you must change the sender's thought. Your name, written with the wealth consciousness, is the address to which abundance is sent. You inscribe the envelope in the invisible, and the visible world must deliver it into your hands. If you persist in writing in faith, the delivery is certain, for the sender and the receiver are one. And know this, the outer man will call it chance, fortune, coincidence. Let him. You will know that the writing of your name was the writing of destiny. You will know that you placed your seal upon the invisible, and that the invisible, obeying the law, pressed itself into the form of checks, of gold, of open doors. You will know that no man gave it to you, for it came from within you. And so we come to the treasury within, for if the seal is yours, the wealth it seals must also be yours. You are not a wanderer looking into shop windows, longing for what lies beyond the glass. You are the owner of the storehouse itself, and the goods are already in your possession. To turn within is to walk into the vault, where all you could ever desire lies waiting in silence. The coins do not jingle there, the notes do not rustle, but their reality is greater than any sound. They are the living substance of your own consciousness, awaiting the command of your assumption. It is written that the kingdom of heaven is within you, and heaven is the fullness of every desire. There is no poverty in heaven, no lack, no deferred hope. There is only the endless supply that flows without measure. When you turn within and assume the state of wealth, you open the doors of that kingdom and allow its rivers to flow into your world. It is not a labor to bring it forth. It is a rest, for it was finished from the foundation of the world. Your task is not to create wealth, but to assume the state in which wealth is natural, inevitable, and already yours. Picture now a table spread in a great hall. Before you are laid all manner of delicacies, goblets of gold, vessels of silver. Around you are treasures from distant lands, silks and spices and gems that catch the light like captured stars. This is the feast prepared for you from before the world was. You do not stand at the door, looking in. You are seated at the head of the table. You are not a guest, you are the master of the house. The wealth is not brought to you, it rises from you as a spring from the earth. To assume yourself outside of this feast is to starve in the midst of plenty. To assume yourself within is to taste and be filled. There is no distance to travel, no time to wait. The journey is but a turning of the mind. In one moment, you are the servant looking upon another's riches. In the next, you are the owner signing the ledger. This turning is the assumption. And when you turn, all that you behold changes to match the one who beholds it. The beggar and the prince walk the same streets, yet they live in different worlds, for each carries his own treasury within. Your wealth is not the paper in your wallet, nor the numbers in a bank. These are only the outer garments of an inward truth. The true gold is your consciousness of already being wealthy. And when that gold fills you, the outer gold must appear, just as the shadow must follow the form. To chase the shadow is to labor in vain. To assume the form is to command the shadow. There is no pleading in the true assumption, no anxious repetition. There is only the calm knowing that what is taken in consciousness is established in fact. The child who knows the bread is in the cupboard does not beg for it. He opens the door and takes. So you, knowing the treasury is within, open it by feeling yourself already supplied. This is the key that opens every vault, the name that unlocks every account. And as you dwell in that state, the outer forms arrange themselves as servants to your inner lordship. In the stillness, you write your name, not as one who asks, but as one who signs for delivery. In the stillness, you turn within, not to seek, but to claim. And in that turning, the unseen wealth becomes the seen, as certainly as the seed becomes the tree, as surely as the promise becomes the harvest. You are the heir, and the inheritance is already yours. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. The written Word is the visible echo of the invisible Word. It is the shadow of that eternal utterance, I am. And just as the eternal Word became flesh and dwelt among us, so the word you inscribe in faith takes upon itself the garment of form and enters your world. You are always writing in the invisible. Every assumption, every acceptance of yourself in a state is the pen upon the scroll of the deep. But when you take the pen in your hand and write with the inner knowing that this is not mere ink upon paper, you are aligning the outer act with the inner truth. You are bringing the two into union, the seen and the unseen, the act and the assumption. The written word is not lifeless. It is a seed. When the farmer presses the seed into the soil, the act seems small, almost nothing. Yet the seed carries within it the pattern of the tree, the taste of the fruit, the shade of the branches. So when you write your name as the one who already possesses wealth, you are planting into the soil of your own consciousness the seed of that wealth. The letters are the husk, the assumption is the life within. And as the seed must bring forth after its kind, so your written word, quickened by feeling, must bring forth its likeness in the outer world. Consider the tablets of stone on which the law was written. It was not the stone that gave the law its power, but the word impressed upon it. So it is with you. The page is but a tablet, the ink is but a shadow. The power is in the spirit with which you write. And when the spirit is the certainty of possession, the wealth you claim is as inevitable as the sunrise. You are not asking the paper to bring you money. You are impressing upon the deep mind the decree that you, the I am, are now and forever wealthy. That decree cannot be revoked, for the law of the Lord is perfect, converting the soul, making the outer conform to the inner. When you write with this consciousness, you are not merely making marks. You are building the form into which substance will flow. Just as the potter shapes the vessel before the water is poured, you are shaping the mold of your experience. Without the mold, the water would scatter. Without the written form, the wealth would have no vessel through which to appear. The shape is not in the outer letters, but in the inner acceptance that these letters declare your identity. An identity draws its own into visibility. The merchant does not sign a contract unless the goods are already his. The signature is not a request, it is an acknowledgement. So, too, when you write your name in the state of wealth, you are not requesting permission to be wealthy. You are signing the contract that declares it done. The written word, joined with the inner knowing, becomes the covenant between you and your own being. And being cannot deny itself. Repetition is the hammer of faith. One blow does not drive the nail, but blow after steady blow, the nail is set fast. The first writing may stir the waters, the second sends the ripple further, the third sets the tide in motion. You do not repeat to convince yourself. Convincing belongs to doubt. You repeat to deepen the impression, to let the root go down into the soil until nothing can shake it. As the craftsman shapes a piece of gold with repeated strikes, each writing is another shaping of the state until the form gleams with perfection. Repetition is the rhythm of creation. The tide does not come in with one wave, but with many. The heart does not beat once and call it life, but keeps the steady pulse. And so you write, not in haste, but with the steady rhythm of one who knows that each stroke is another breath of life into the image. You write, and as you write, the state grows more real than the page before you. The letters fade, and in their place, you see the scene fulfilled. The bank balance overflowing, the table spread, the hand receiving the gift. The outer act becomes the inner vision. There is a story told of a scribe in a distant land who was charged with copying the sacred texts. He did not rush, for he knew each stroke was a prayer. He ground the ink slowly, he shaped each letter with care, and as he wrote, he felt the truth of the words living in him. When the scroll was complete, it was said to carry a power that changed the life of any who read it. So it is when you write your own name in the state of the wish fulfilled. The act is not mechanical, it is holy. Each repetition carries more of your spirit until the name on the page becomes a living thing, breathing with the certainty of the state assumed. And when the repetition has driven the image deep into the subconscious, the outer world must rearrange itself to reflect it. You may not see the movement, for the roots grow in darkness, but the moment the inner is fixed, the outer begins to bend toward it. Repetition is not the cry of the desperate, it is the song of the certain. It is the steady step of the one who walks toward a city already prepared, knowing that every step is guided, every turn already made straight. Even now, imagine taking the pen in hand. See the page before you. Feel the quiet air around you, as though all of heaven leans in to witness. Write your name, not hurriedly, but as though signing the greatest covenant of your life. See it clearly. And then write it again, and again. With each writing, feel the reality deepen. Let the letters become a door through which the wealth flows into your world. Let the rhythm of the writing be the rhythm of your own heartbeat, steady, inevitable, alive. And when you lay the pen down, the writing continues, for the subconscious never sleeps. It carries the image, repeats the decree, shapes the form, and calls the shadow into being. What you have written in faith cannot be erased, for it is written not only upon the paper, but upon the tablets of your heart. And from there, it must go forth, accomplishing that which you have pleased, prospering in the thing whereto you sent it. The act without the feeling is an empty shell upon the shore, a form that once held life but now lies hollow. Feeling is the breath of the soul. It is the spirit moving upon the face of the waters. Without it, the act is a shadow without a substance, a word without power. When you inscribe your name, when you utter the words of assumption, it is the feeling that crowns the act and makes it sovereign. As David was anointed king long before the throne appeared, so your assumption is anointed in feeling long before the outer kingdom takes shape. You may write your name 100 times, you may repeat the words of wealth in the stillness of the night, but unless the inner atmosphere is charged with the quiet thrill of possession, the letter remains without the seal. Feeling is the seal. It is the invisible wax impressed by the signet of your consciousness, marking the decree as true and binding in the court of the unseen. Ask, believing that you have received, and you shall receive. Believing is not the cold assent of the mind, it is the warm certainty that wraps itself around you like a robe. It is the fragrance of the feast before the first dish is served, the warmth of the sun before the dawn has broken. When you write your name in the state of wealth, pause and let the inner air change. Let the atmosphere within you shift from the desire for wealth to the enjoyment of wealth. See the hand receiving the gift, the ledger bearing your abundance, the door of opportunity swinging wide at your approach. But more than seeing, feel the scene. Feel the weight of the gold in your palm, the ease of the hand that spends without fear, the peace of knowing that all is supplied. For what you feel as real in the silence of the mind becomes the reality that greets you in the noise of the day. Imagine a man who, having been crowned in a distant city, returns to his village still dressed in his old garments. To the outer eye, nothing has changed. But he walks with a new ease, he speaks with a new tone, for within him the crown rests upon his brow. The crown is not the metal, it is the consciousness of rule. So it is with you. Before the gold appears, before the check arrives, before the numbers align in your favor, wear the crown of wealth within. Let the feeling of plenty rest upon you in the marketplace, in the quiet room, in the moments before sleep, and the world, seeing the invisible crown, will bow to the authority it represents. For the kingdom is a state, and every state is clothed in its own feeling. The state of poverty is wrapped in the cloak of fear, of want, of anxious counting. The state of wealth is robed in ease, in freedom, in quiet gratitude. You do not enter a state by thought alone, you step into it by feeling. Feeling is the gate, and the gate swings open to the touch of acceptance. Stand before the gate of wealth and feel yourself already within. And when the gate opens, you will see that you have been within all along. Time is not your master, it is your servant. It does not run ahead to prepare your path, it waits upon your assumption. The world believes in a long road between desire and fulfillment, in a span of days or years where labor must fill the gap. But I tell you, when the state is assumed in fullness, time collapses. What seemed far off stands before you, for time must bow to the one who knows. The seed of the oak contains the tree entire, though the outer eye sees only the acorn. In the moment of assumption, you contain the harvest entire, though the outer eye may yet see only the desire. Do not watch the clock, for the clock is but a shadow cast by your own state. When you look to time for your fulfillment, you are denying the immediacy of your assumption. But when you rest in the feeling of the wish fulfilled, time bends itself to your need. It may deliver the harvest in a day, or in an hour, or in the twinkling of an eye. For the promise is this: before they call, I will answer, and while they are yet speaking, I will hear. The answer does not wait upon the calendar, it springs forth from the state in which you dwell. Imagine a garden hidden behind a wall. To the one outside, the tree must take years to grow, the fruit seasons to ripen. But to the one inside, the tree is already in bloom, the fruit already sweet upon the tongue. When you step into the state of wealth, You step inside the wall. You taste now what the world believes must come later. And because you taste it now, the outer must arrange itself to agree with your inner banquet. There is no delay in the eternal now. Delay exists only when you stand outside the state and look toward it as a traveler looks toward a distant city. Enter the city in consciousness, and you will find that you are already home. This is why the prophet spoke in the past tense of things not yet seen. I have made you the father of many nations. Though the child was not yet born, I have given you the land, though the enemy still dwelt there. They knew that once assumed, the state is already accomplished and time is but the slow unfolding of what is already finished. So when you write your name as the wealthy one, feel the state as though no hour stood between you and its full expression. Feel it as done, as settled, as beyond question. Let the pen be the scepter in your hand, the page the decree that goes forth into all the land. And as you sign, let the inner atmosphere be filled with the joy of one who has already received. Then lay down the pen, not to wait, but to walk in the reality you have claimed. And as surely as the shadow follows the body, the wealth will follow the state. And so it is that all wealth, all abundance, all the treasures of the earth are but the reflections of the riches already held within. The outer is the echo of the inner, the shadow cast by the state in which you dwell. To claim is not to strive, but to rest in the knowledge that it is finished. To assume is to step into the inheritance prepared from the foundation of the world. Feel now the fullness of possession, and let that feeling be the crown upon your head. Walk as the one who has, and the world will bear witness to your reign. For the law is sure, the promise certain. What is claimed in consciousness must appear in form, and what is felt as real must clothe itself in the facts of your life. All things are yours.